When history is destroyed, people forget. If Drum Point Lighthouse had been allowed to die, a special part of the maritime history of Patuxent River would have been forgotten. And this little structure, which signaled the entrance to the river for 79 years, would be remembered only in faded photographs. When the Drum Point Light was decommissioned in 1962, the six-sided cottage already was high and dry, an invitation to vandals who added desecration to neglect. But the light was not meant to be forgotten. It was rescued by the Calvert County Historical Society and this man, Dr. Ralph Eshelman, curator of the Calvert Marine Museum. To protect the light, plans were made to move it to a spot near the museum. The B.F. Diamond Construction Company of Savannah, Georgia, began work on the foundation in February 1975, work that continued in spite of bad weather. A month later, a barge and steam-operated crane arrived at the lighthouse, prepared to move it in one piece, 2 nautical miles up the river to its new home. The tug was forced to backwash, shifting the shoal so the crane could be positioned. An interested bystander was John Hansen, the last Drum Point Lighthouse keeper. Mr. Hansen watched the rescue of his former home with Dr. Eshelman and others. The piles, secured by thin flanges, had been bored into the bottom by hand when the light was built. Welders cut through the screw piles that anchored the lighthouse to the river bottom and discovered that the 7 legs were made of solid iron, 10 inches in diameter. At last, the legs were severed. The crane lifted the 6-sided cottage into the air, and the barge moved upriver. At the museum site, the legs were joined to the new foundation, and the restoration of the exterior began. Children who play on this beach could have wondered what these pilings once held and why they were cut. Drum Point Lighthouse will tell the story. The lighthouse now looks just as it did in 1883, when it took 33 days to build and cost $5,000. And people who visit the Calvert Museum will never forget the days now past. Days when lights like this, kept burning by men like Mr. Hanson, spelled safe haven for mariners on Chesapeake Bay.